How can I better inspire my local community to make meaningful, positive changes? I'm finding that even amongst my freedom fighter friends who want to maintain sovereignty, we often have a hard time coming together to make clear and actionable goals to execute together. I've enjoyed hearing your use of the word syndication, and I see how powerful that coming together is for those implementing the control grid. How can I better work to foster that kind of unity among my local community?
Don't assume that you've lost the argument if someone is not immediately persuaded by what you have to say. Your job is not to win arguments, your job is to plant seeds. So if you want to plant the seed of syndication, eventually it might work back to you that the people that you're wanting to syndicate with now may not be ready for it. It may not be their time to do that. So you
So,
kind of have to plant the seeds.
so I think the way to do this is to be exceptionally practical.
Yeah.
So first you gather a group of people who enjoy each other's company and
Right.
want to do things together. That's
Right.
number 1.
Right.
Then you say, okay, let's look at our time, let's look at our revenue, and let's look at our expenses.
Mhm. Mhm.
How can we save time, raise our revenues, and lower our expenses by conspiring together
Mhm.
to take action?
Mhm.
And what you will find, so for example, we used to have a potluck dinner because we all figured we're going to have dinner, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
let's do a potluck dinner. We team up and we have a dinner. And then one of us would give a presentation to educate each one of us about something we didn't know how to do. So one person would talk about planting an orchard, one would talk about gardening, one would talk about how to clean your gun, and there were just lots of different descriptions and discussions that were teaching us practical skills.
Mhm.
And it saved us time. It helped us get going on different things. It helped us in a very practical way. And it didn't take a lot of time because we all had to have dinner anyway, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Right. So by doing a potluck dinner. So I think you really uh in many areas of the country where you have a great or even in Europe too, you have great terminal markets.
Mhm.
You can buy a crate of organic food for 40% of what it is in the store, but you got to
Mhm.
get up early and go down to the terminal markets. But if you
Mhm.
organize a group of people and you take turns and
That's a good idea. Mhm.
you shop for 10 or 20 or 30 people, you can
Mhm.
dramatically reduce your costs.
Mhm.
So with some groups, you can have a movie night once a month where you get together and watch a documentary and talk about what's going on, and
Mhm.
people will show up and be faithful.
Mhm.
If you put together a group that's going to work on the state legislature, a lot of people will say they'll help, but it turns out they don't have time. And
Right.
so you need the people who are going to be faithful. And then the people who can't be faithful, maybe they can chip in some money for travel expenses for
Right.
the people
Right.
who are willing to be faithful. You know, if you put together a group of people where one person knows health, one person knows food, one person knows money, one person knows gardening, one person knows, but very in practical ways, you start really helping each other. I just think you got to get really practical about what people need. And, it's funny because I grew up in a world where people did engage actively in conspiracies and being blunt about what they needed and how to help each other. And I found that many of the groups I'm with, they think they just, they don't organize for self-interest together.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like you say, if you're not in a conspiracy, then you need to start one.
Yeah, but we need to learn how to do them.